Olivo
Verde. Presents. Possessed. You've asked me about the possessed.
What is schizophrenia? I am asking because I have noticed several people like this in the church. Now, is suffering from schizophrenia the same as being possessed?
Firstly, let me explain to you what schizophrenia is. It comes to us from the Greek schizo, which is division or divided, and from the expression phren, which is mind. Now we are going to reflect on perception, which are used to characterize this mental disorder, and thus recognize if the person is sick or possessed, since the symptoms of both are quite similar. Clarifying that schizophrenia is a term that was introduced almost 100 years ago by a genius psychiatrist of Swiss origin, and his name was Eugen Bleuler. He was born on April 30, 1857, and died on July 15, 1939. At the beginning of the 20th century, this brilliant doctor quite in-depth studied varieties of mental illnesses. Before he conducted his research, any person diagnosed with these and other symptoms were just called precox, dementia, or precoco. This brilliant doctor discovered that schizophrenia is a chronic mental disorder that deeply affects the ways in which its victim thinks, reacts, looks, feels, and sees things that are not real, that are not there. The symptoms vary greatly, and with medical treatment, pills, and therapies, the patient may now live an almost normal, relatively functional, and productive life. It is said that there are fundamental symptoms, and others are accessory. Let me explain to you what the fundamental symptoms are. Schizophrenia causes altered association, which disorganizes their way of thinking, and they have difficulty using logic or connecting ideas logically. They also have flattened affect, that is, blunted, inappropriate emotions. Many of these people are born with autism. They withdraw from reality, in a world of fantasies mixed with reality, and for this reason they concentrate on the internal world. Having these symptoms also produces ambivalence, which are feelings and thoughts totally contrary to reality, towards what they see, or the situation in which they are living. These people look strange in church. They constantly are seeing demons that are not there. Some believe that they see angels who come down from heaven to bring them messages from God, to the extreme that they believe that they have the power to cast out demons, and that's because only they see them. However, that's because of schizophrenia. Please notice that I am not implying that Yahweh doesn't talk to the believer. Now, those who have accessory symptoms are always hallucinating. They have sensory perceptions without having any external stimulus. These hear voices constantly and truly believe it was God that told them. They have conversations with angels, demons, deceased people, and even the Adorn himself, as if they were speaking to them. Well, they have delusions. Nonetheless, based on their false religious beliefs, taught to them since they were children. None of these are based on reality. They see angels, demons, the devil they say, and even a mere god. However, schizophrenia has several roots, with a wide variety of causes, including biological and environmental factors. Although these symptoms sometimes manifest themselves more in private or at home than in church, as those possessed would. Even so, these symptoms may have more varieties among individuals who firmly believe that they are prophets or seers, because they see things, or because the Lord told them so. It is that they hear voices during the day and at night that are not present. By constantly seeing angels or demons, the religious person begins to believe that it is a gift, and it is not. In reality, it is schizophrenia. There are even those who are constantly saying that the Lord told me, or the Lord showed me, and for this reason, they say uncertain things. It is not true that they'll happen, because it is schizophrenia. Reason why most of them never go to a doctor to find out if they have schizophrenia or not, because they believe that it is a gift from God, that it is perfectly normal. And it is not, since these are the fantasies of a sick mind.
Excuse me for interrupting, but does the Bible talk about schizophrenia? Does it talks about other illnesses of the mind, such as dementia?
As I already explained, in the past, Dr. Eugen Bleuler named it schizophrenia. In the time of the apostles, they called them false prophets, madmen, and heretics. These people are not emotionally stable. About schizophrenia, it is better to say, as Isaac Newton wisely said, what we know is a drop of water. What we ignore is the ocean. However, these people who suffer from schizophrenia may be focused on solipsism, since they believe they are correct in everything, believing that only they know and understand certain things, being sure of their existence. These people firmly believe they see these things, that they listen to angelic voices, which speaks only to them, dictate things, and in many cases, they'll say what they should do, and to whom it needs to be done to. While a demon-possessed person is quite different. They will do things, and sometimes not remember that they did it. They will speak secrets things, and that are impossible for that person to know about. A demonized person, or possessed, walks strangely, and moves differently. The Lord hides his gaze from them. They'll shake themselves, move their bodies erotically, wildly to a breaking point. They speak in languages to convince you that what they tell you is real. They'll throw themselves on the floor, moving their heads as a spinning wheel. They'll move provocatively as they dance, and even break 3 chairs as they'll move wildly, without knowing that this is mockery. This is not worship. It's all part of the deception. The way they move is mad, and the masses believe that it is the divine touch, but it is not. They are possessed by spirits of mockery. They are making fun of the presence by making the members do these things. That looks like the back of their necks will break by being with these scoundrels. Tell me, then, where in your Bible does it say that the Jesus whom you adore was remended like this? Tell me, when did he throw himself on the ground and turn his eyes, doing these so-called dances? Where does it say that the apostles danced? Yahweh is the Eloah of Shalom, not of chaos. So these possessed have brought into the church many attitudes that are not in any Bible. This is the difference between a sick person and a scoundrel who seeks the destruction of what is holy. The sick needs to be touched by the most sacred, the Ruach Kadosh, and be healed. A possessed does speaks in idioms that will give you a chill. May Yahweh forgive them, and there will be understanding, so that they'll realize that it is not biblical. A person who is possessed begins to repeat phrases without meaning that makes no sense. They'll start to dance insanely inside the church. On these people, they'll have to place a cloak over them so that they'll not show their underwear. This behavior is shameless. A possessed person goes into the church with the plan to destroy the work of Eloah and make others distance themselves from the true God, Yahweh. Then the erroneous philosophy of a Roman's Jesus rules their minds, instead of knowing the true Moshiach, who is Yahushua. That is basically the difference between a possessed and someone who is mentally sick.
If you'd like to purchase one of my books, please look me up in Amazon.